Hey there, today's question is about trusts. Do I need a trust? What kind of trust do I need? There are different kinds, I understand from George here. And I'm here, this is Ed Bemke, and I'm here with George Guertin, who is a attorney, and he focuses on estate planning and probate and estate law. So George, tell me a little bit about yourself and how long, how long have you been an attorney?
I've been an attorney since 1990. Have licenses in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and before the Supreme Court in Washington, and I enjoy what I'm doing.
Excellent, great. So tell me a little bit about trusts. A lot of people talk about living trusts.
Yes.
Are there certain times that is a good thing to have, or is there times that may not be the appropriate trust?
It's a tough question. Living trusts are sold sometimes by people to avoid probate. You're not going to avoid probate with a living trust.
Why is that?
Because the assets that are in there are still going to be subject to the courts. Whatever they say goes.
Okay.
So it's a shame that many people buy them and they don't really need them. We do more trust of the protection nature.
Then that's what people are trying to do, is protect
Right.
themselves. So tell me more about the better choices to protect your all your possessions
Okay.
for the people you leave behind.
Right. If you set up an irrevocable trust, as opposed to the trust we just talked about, then the things that are in there are protected because you don't own them anymore. You cannot go and reach in there in your hand and take out that Mercedes-Benz. It's in there and it's going to stay in there until certain events happen that you've set up in the trust, your death being one of them. It's also better to have a trust for life insurance. A lot of people put their life insurance in a trust because they don't want to lose that should something happen in their life where the life insurance company says, well, you're too much of a risk now, we're going to just drop that policy. So there's many reasons why there's many trusts, and a lot of people don't realize what's available, so we try to educate them as to which one is better. We don't push them to make a decision right there. We tell them to go home or talk to your financial advisor and see what their opinion is. We work quite well with those folks. And they seem, for the most part, to go away happy. And we just hope they won't need the trust for a number of years.
Excellent, great. So is there anything else that we can touch base here before we get going of other types of trusts? We'll just hit
the other documents that you need.
Okay, oh good. Tell me about the other documents.
You need a will.
Need a will, yeah.
That tells the court where your assets will go when you pass away.
Great.
You can always change that. You can change it every week if you want, as opposed to an irrevocable trust that you can't change. And it provides for a smooth transition, if you will, from this life to another life. A lot of the documents we do are for people that are living. For example, power of attorney, you might have heard of that. That's a document that allows you to designate someone, usually a family member, to do all the things you can do. Pay bills, buy a car, anything you can do. There's a list of about 20 things on there that they could do in your place should you not be able to do it yourself. And should not be able to do it yourself also could mean you're in Florida on vacation and something has to be signed up here in Connecticut for your brother. You have the power of attorney, you can just do it. So it's a convenience thing as well. The other thing we considered having people think about doing is living wills, where you decide what you want done if you're in a terminal condition with no hope of recovery. You spell it out in there because at the time that you may need that, you may not be able to answer the questions or even hear the questions. So for example, we asked the client, if you're in a terminal condition with no hope of recovery, do you want to just be let go, so to speak? And most people say yes. If there's no chance of me coming back, then I don't want to lay there for months and weeks and just have my family crying, and I just want to go on to the next place. Then we ask them about donation of organs. That's a big thing right now. A lot of people want to give donations, but when they're in the point where they're so sick that they can give it, they may not be able to answer the question, do you want to give one now? So if you know ahead of time, you put it on a piece of paper and keep it with your other important papers, and it works quite well. Because we all hope we don't have to give up organs, but if we want an organ, we want to hope that there's one there.
Great. So how does that differ from when you sign your organ donation on your your motor vehicle registration? How does that differ?
It differs only in the fact that you don't have to go looking for it.
Okay.
Your daughter's got the car out in California.
Right.
And what do you do then?
Great.
So.
Excellent.
And we encourage people to put these documents in a place where somebody else, other than the husband and wife, knows where they are.
Excellent. Great. I appreciate this, George. Again, we'll talk again soon, and we'll learn a little bit more about other areas shortly.